Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our technical English class for grade 11. Our lesson today is from Review Unit C. In this review unit, we are going to revise and practice material from Units 5 and 6. We will cover page 48 of the course book. Now let's look at the objectives. Our main objective today is to revise and practice 4 ways to talk about the use or function of a device. Let's start with a short activity to revise the vocabulary. Who am I? Drivers use me to start their cars with flat batteries. I am a forklift truck, first aid kit, jump lead, transducer, or a hydrophone. As a clue. Great. It is jump lead. Our next word. I carry boxes around the warehouse. I'm a forklift truck. Then the next word. I'm a set of materials and tools used for giving emergency treatment to a sick or injured person. I am a first aid kit. Great. Moving on. I detect signal underwater. I am hydrophone. And the last word, I convert energy from one form to another. Convert energy from one form to another. I am a transducer. Now let's look at the ways to talk about the use or function of a device. Great. Do you remember how many ways we discussed in Unit 5? We looked at 4 ways. Can you mention them? Okay. We have the present simple. We can use the present simple to talk about the use or function of a device. For example, the carburetor mixes air and petrol. We can also use the structure for followed by verb with ing. For example, this tool is used for hammering in nails. We can also use to followed by a verb that is the base form of the verb. For example, this device is used to find lost items. The last way to talk about the use and function of a device we discussed in Unit 5 is act as plus a noun. We use this when the function of one object is like the function of another object. For example, the fan of a hovercraft acts as a propeller. Now, open your course books to page 48. Page 48 of the course book. Task 1. Complete the sentences. Use the correct form of the verbs in the box. We have carry, convert, detect, start, and treat. Pause the video and read through the sentences. Great. Let's do number 1 together. Templates are used for space, a car with a flat battery. You can see that we have 4, so we have to use the structure for followed by verb with ing. Now, which of these verbs should we use? We know templates are used to start a car, so we're going to use start. So our answer is templates are used for starting a car with a flat battery. Now, pause the video and complete the rest. Let's take the answers. Number 2, we have 2, so we're going to use structure 2 followed by verb, the base form of the verb, and the verb to use is detect. So we have the purpose of hydrophone is to detect signals underwater. Number 3, great. Moving on to the next task, still on page 48. Task 2. Work in pairs. Discuss with your partner. What do you think is the function of each item of the diverse equipment? We have cylinders, buoyancy jacket, diving mask, demand valve, depth gauge, and content gauge. Well, it's supposed to be a pair work, but you can do it alone. Look at the picture. What do you think is the function of each item of the diver's equipment? What do you think? Take a few seconds and then try to find out the function of each item. Good. In our next activity, you're going to describe the function of each item of equipment. Task 3. Take turns with your partner to describe the function of each item of equipment. Use the correct form of the verbs. Here you can see we have the equipment and the functions. Our task is to describe the functions of the equipment using the words in the brackets. Now, we have to use the correct form of each verb, and we can get the verbs under the functions. Here we have control, here we have store, and the last one we have indicate. Now, for the first one, what's our verb? Control. Great. And the word to use? For. So we will use the structure for followed by verb with ing. So we have the demand valve is for controlling the flow of oxygen to the diver. Then number 2, what is our verb? Our verb is stow. And we're going to use to describe the function. So we're going to use the structure to followed by base form of the verb. So we have the cylinders are used to store oxygen under high pressure. Moving on to our last task. Our verb is indicate, and we're going to use the present simple to describe the function of the equipment. So the structure of the present simple is subject plus verb, either with s, es, or ies. Since the subject contents gauge is singular, we have the contents gauge indicates the amount of oxygen in the cylinder. So if the subject is singular, you add s to the verb. This is the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.